Okay, we are in Leicester Square today, central of London. It is the first of what I'm going to call secrets of the Jubilee Walkway Western Loop. And we're going to show you the sights and sounds of London. This is central Leicester Square. To my right, we have LBC, Capitol, Heart, the home of Global Studios. And over there in the background, you can just about hear a street performer. There's lots of street performers in London. So ahead of us, on my right, is the National Gallery. Lots of paintings and portraits. And it's free to go in. So welcome to Trafalgar Square, named after the Battle of Trafalgar in the 1700s, I believe, 1800s. Now, that massive statue ahead of us is Lord Admiral Horatio Nelson, the commander-in-chief of the Battle of Trafalgar. And there's a famous quote. I remember him saying, I don't know how true this was, but he said, "Kiss me hardy." How true that quote is another question. Now, Trafalgar Square used to have lots more pigeons, and there's a lot more street artists now. And just enjoy the sunshine, it's beautiful. So this is the fourth plinth of Trafalgar Square. It used to be a very long time ago. It was very empty, very empty. There is somebody on top of it. We'll go around the other side and see who it is. Antelope. Some sort of art. I have no idea. And now we have the famous fountain that's inside Trafalgar Square. And we have the lions, which we're going to walk soon to the lions. A lovely fountain, it's beautiful, waterfall. Some people have actually put money inside the fountain. On a hot day, people have known to go inside the fountains, but there's signs saying no entry, so you're not allowed in the fountains anymore. Horatio Admiral Nelson standing looking over London, right above Trafalgar Square. King George IV on horseback on this plinth. Ah, the famous lions of Trafalgar Square. So we're walking under the tunnel, the entrance to the Mall.
Which is being rebuilt.
They're rebuilding above us, so that's why it's a lot of
and around us.
Tunnel. And as you can see, the Mall is the route where the king, when he was
and the royal
coronated,
family,
King Charles III, all the horse-drawn carriages came down here. When the Queen died in 2022, her hearse came down here as well. And it was full of people attending. Queen had ruled for 70 years in this country. Queen Elizabeth II. We will soon see a statue of her mother very soon. But for those who don't know, the current King of England is King Charles III.
Statue over there.
This is a statue dedicated to the Royal Marines.
Which was World War One.
World War One. Captain James Cook. The statue is here. So we are standing in front of the Duke of York steps. This way, down there, is St James's Park. To my right, which you can't really see, is Buckingham Palace. And that is a statue over here of the Duke of York himself. of King George VI. We are now walking down the Mall to divert just to see two statues of King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother.
Which is the current king's grandparents.
The current King Charles III's grandparents. This is a statue of King George VI, who reigned from 1926 to 1952. He was the father of the late Queen Elizabeth II.
And the grandfather of the current
king Charles III. And on the wall it was his signature, GR6. And on the left here, this was Queen Elizabeth's...
The Queen Mother's.
The Queen Mother's signature. And this is a statue of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, who lived for 102 years. So on my right, St James's Park. It's a bit flooded here. And the daffodils are out in force. It is middle of February.
And the daffodils are already out.
And the daffodils think it's spring. Well,
it technically is.
It technically is spring. Very nearly spring. We're about to enter St James's Park.
Who's that statue over there?
We'll find out who that statue is in a minute. So welcome to St James's Park. As you can see, there's lots of different walks you can do around it. The actual beautiful lake inside it is
St James's Park with the Duck Island on it.
Duck Island.
And the West Island on it.
So we're approaching Horse Guard Parade. This is a very famous when the king came through the coronation, he came through that archway in the middle, and at the Queen's funeral, her hearse and her carriage and horse carriage, they all came down Horse Guards Parade and up down the Mall. There were lots of, especially when it came to the Queen's funeral, there was lots of crowds silent, and the King's coronation, they were cheering away. As you can see, we're on the right path. So from Horse Guards Parade, you can just about see the London Eye in the distance. It's slowly moving, and it must be 2:30 because the bell has just chimed. So the violets have come out in force in St James's Park, and so have the bees. So this is Parliament Square, and we're going to look at every single statue that is around it. So right ahead of you is Big Ben.
And that has the Parliament.
And we're going to start by the statues here. Who is on my right?
George Canning.
George Canning.
He doesn't tell
Prime Minister. Don't know when, but he was a former Prime Minister. This statue on the right is Abraham Lincoln, the former President of the United States of America. His trademark beard, that was Abraham Lincoln. Standing ahead of us is Westminster Abbey. Now, Westminster Abbey is very famous. Lots of kings and queens are buried there.
Monarchs.
So you have monarchs, so Queen Elizabeth I, Queen Mary I, King Henry VIII, and all the kings and queens have been crowned here. So the last king, King Charles III, he had his coronation in Westminster Abbey. Queen Elizabeth II had her funeral in Westminster Abbey. Queen Elizabeth II is actually buried in Windsor. So this is a statue of Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa. This is
Peel.
Lord Peel, very famous Whig, I think it was Whigs. He was a very old Prime Minister in the 1700s. And we have palm trees here as well. Millicent Garrett Fawcett, courage, pause, courage everywhere. This is her statue. That is Winston Churchill. the famous Prime Minister who led England through the war.
World War II.
World War II. So when I videoed before, that was actually Westminster Cathedral. This is Westminster Abbey. That's where all the kings and queens are buried, and that's where all the coronations are. So Westminster Abbey is on our left here, and it's huge.
Massive.
It's a massive, massive cathedral, used only on special occasions. One fun fact about Westminster Abbey: it was built in 1066 by King William I.
Otherwise known as King William the Conqueror.
So we are now in Victoria Tower Gardens Park, and we're going to look at quite a few statues here. This is Emmeline Pankhurst,
A brave suffragette.
as a tribute to her courageous leadership of the movement for the enfranchisement of women, otherwise known as the leader of the suffragettes. The River Thames to your left, Waterloo Bridge and the London Eye to your right. Lambeth Bridge, where we will soon cross very, very soon.
And as you can see, all the boats are marooned there.
Marooned.